Martin here. Now, let's take a look at why people buy property. What are the reasons that drive someone to actually invest in a home, a flat, a bit of land, or whatever it might be? There are more reasons than you might think. Firstly, I suppose, the one that comes first to mind is as somewhere to live. It's a fairly basic need. Now, you may not be able to afford to buy a house, you may rent somewhere, but most people, I think, aspire to owning their own place. Not only from the financial side of things, it can often be cheaper to pay a mortgage than pay rent, and also you've got hopefully capital growth in the value of that property. But also just from a lifestyle point of view, having your own home, there is nothing quite like it. So I suppose the most basic reason why people buy property is somewhere to live. And I think as a commodity, don't lose sight of that fact. We are investing or buying in something which there is an intrinsic need for. It's like food, it's like air, it's like water, it's a roof over our heads. And so intrinsically, it is something that makes sense to buy. And of course, we do live in a country where there aren't enough homes to buy. I mean, the pledges to build were based on need, and they are being not met by a fairly significant proportion. So really, the situation is only going to get worse. So buying a house and somewhere to live is the first step. I think the biggest step for a lot of people, though, is moving on from that and saying, okay, well, we've bought a house now to live in. Now we're going to take the next step and actually buy it as an investment. And for me, my first experience is that was with the first house that I owned. And during the 2 years that I owned it, I was working, starting out in local radio and earning basically diddly squat as a reporter on a BBC local station in the northwest. But I bought this house in Stockport. It was an old ex-council house and it needed lots of work doing to it. And so I did what I knew, because my dad was always into DIY. So I redid the kitchen and I redid the bathroom and I repainted and knocked through a few walls. And 2 years later, I came to sell it. And it had gone up double. It was worth twice what I paid for it. And I paid 23,000 quid for it. And I sold it for about 50 grand. So it actually went up more than double. So I earned 25,000 quid ish over that period of time. Now, at the same time I was working at a local radio station, I probably earned about £2,000 in those 2 years. And for me, that was when the penny dropped, that suddenly property can be something that makes you money. It's not just a place to live. It can be something that actually makes you money. And actually, it can make you more money than doing a normal job. And that's just really fun. So wow, hang on a minute. I can do something that's actually a job that makes me loads of money, more money than if I was throwing my guts out doing whatever I was doing. That, when that penny drops, I think that's really, really great. So if you are, for instance, a DIY enthusiast, and a lot of people are, increasingly less so after it's a sideline, I'm really upset at the fact that young children these days are not being taught DIY. By whoever, by their mums, by their dads, and they can't even put up a shelf. We need to do something about that. It's a sideline, we'll talk about that another time. But a lot of people are still into DIY and they can use those skills to renovate houses. So the fact that you can, maybe do some painting and decorating, the fact you can tidy a garden, the fact that you can do a bit of tiling, which is within most people's limits of what they can do. You could do that, you can have fun doing it, you can add value to a property. So you spend 500 quid on a load of tiles and a load of paint and you add £2,000 onto the value of your house. Well, that's quite good, isn't it? So DIY enthusiasts, are people who are attracted to property. And then there are people who can see that one strategy is buying a house, doing it up and selling it on, called flipping, okay? Hopefully it's a profit, otherwise why are you doing it? But there is another strategy which is buy and hold, as in hold on to the property, and that you then become a landlord. And we have seen a growth in the number of landlords. I mean, recently, landlords have been getting a bit of a short shrift in terms of things they can't claim back and lack of certain reliefs. But still, a lot of people see the benefits of being a landlord. And that is where you own a property and somebody is paying you rent. Now that has lots of positives. You buy at the right price and you're charging a reasonable amount of rent. You get a reasonable yield. you could be looking at 5, 6, 7% return on your money, even 10%, even 12%, 15% in certain parts of the country. So you put money into a house, you do it up, you add value to it, and then on top of it all, you're then renting it out and receiving a regular income from this property. That is a pretty good pension plan as far as I'm concerned. There are things that come with it, and we'll do a whole section in another little video all about the pitfalls of being a landlord. But as long as you follow the rules, you stick to the rules and regulations, you do what you need to do in terms of legalities, and you're a fair and kind landlord, it's a fantastic opportunity. And at the end of the day, you do provide a home for someone to live in. So it's a really nice thing to do. So there are a multitude of reasons why people might invest in property. There's a multitude of reasons why people might buy property. And that keeps the market extremely buoyant and gives lots of reasons why you should definitely consider it. But you need to know what you're doing, which is why I've got all my training courses and do all my lessons and everything I do online and actually in classrooms to teach people how to do it properly, because there are pitfalls for the unwary. Do it though. It's a great lifestyle.